All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of The
Are we
Sportsman.
recording?
Oh, you bet your ass we're recording, Joey D.
Oh.
Welcome back to The Sportsman. That's Joseph. Peter DeMar coming to you from somewhere in Canada. I'm here in my home in Philadelphia. Joe, why don't you tell us where you are?
I don't really know at this point. I've been on the road, I've been traveling, I've been kind of all over the place. It feels like the last 3 weeks have been a whirlwind. And I find myself now in a small city known as Edmonton, Alberta.
Where the fuck
I
is
thought you were going to
that?
say something.
No, I have no idea where
To be
that
honest,
is.
to be honest, there's nothing out here. I was gonna do like I did a story on my Instagram today. I was like, I was gonna show you a view of the beautiful city of Edmonton, but I feel like it would be there wasn't much to show.
What's it like? Is it freezing up there, or do they have summer?
No, it's like 70 degrees right now. It's
Oh,
nice.
okay.
I'm about to go golfing with a George LaRock. Do you remember him? Big
Yeah,
old
big
bruiser,
boy.
used to play in the NHL. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. I actually want to ask you this because I just put a poll up and I've got a lot of mixed reviews, but a lot of people are telling me I'm crazy. So I'm here covering with the NHL on TNT. I'm going to game two on Friday, so tomorrow.
Hmm.
I guess when this is aired, it'll be the same day.
Hmm.
And I'm going to be filming and doing some stuff, and I'm being there for coverage. Um, I got in yesterday because we had to golf today to film for our video with George LaRock. So I got in early. When I got in, I called the guy that I'm working with, the main guy who's helping produce and do all this stuff with me. And he told me, he's like, hey, heads up, letting you know that we got a ticket for you to go to the game tonight, which is game one, right? Which
Hmm.
just happened last night. Unbelievable game. And I had been traveling all day, and I said, okay, well, you guys going to be there? No, they said, well, no, we're going to be running around. We're going to be doing our stuff. So go just be there at the game yourself. So it essentially was me going to the game with one ticket by myself in Edmonton, Alberta to watch the Stanley Cup Finals game one.
Was it a
And
seat or was it like a box? Were you
it
invited
was
to
a
a
seat.
box? Oh,
It
okay,
was a
gotcha.
seat. So
Hmm.
I think it was like a upper bowl seat. It was not a great seat, but regardless, even if it was lower bowl, okay, I'm curious to know whether you would go or not. So I keep in mind I had been up at like 5 in the morning that same
Sure.
day, multiple flights, had gotten in exhausted. The idea for me then to go and deal with traffic, getting to the game, the crowd, sitting in the seat by myself, watching essentially the game with no one else to enjoy it with. I said, thanks. I am going to be there Friday. So here's the caveat, right? If I
Uh-huh.
wasn't going Friday, I still may have done that just to experience the atmosphere, to see what it was like. To me, the fact that I'm going on Friday, I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to watch the game from my hotel room. I'm going to order some DoorDash. I'm going to
Hmm.
chill. I've had a long day. I'm going to, after the game, pass out, go to sleep. I got a full day tomorrow, and I'm going to do that. Then I'm sitting there watching the game, and it's an absolutely
Yeah,
unbelievable
it's
fucking
classic.
hockey game.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and the fans are going nuts. And Edmonton wins in overtime and comes back down from a 2-goal lead. And I mean, the game had everything. I don't know if you watched it, it was
Hmm.
unbelievable. And I'm sitting there, and the place is popping off, and I'm like, did I fuck up by not going to that game? So
Well, here's the big question is how far are you from the stadium? Is it like a 40-minute drive
it's
or
about 15 to 20 minutes.
oh, well, you know what? See, for me, I'm very specific. I don't like going to live events, but the idea, and you did have a big travel day, so that really, I might be saying something that is actually not true, but I do feel like I would have probably gone to that game only because it was a Stanley Cup final game. I would have been like, and because I'm sure when you go on Friday, you have like you're working essentially. You're hired, so you're probably going to catch glimpses of the game and be working throughout it. So it was an opportunity to just go and enjoy a hockey game. But so I probably would have went, but who knows? Who am I kidding? You know what? I probably would have been parked on that couch with some room service myself.
Oh, I had a great meal, man. I had a great meal.
They got you in a
But the
nice
thing
hotel
is,
there?
it's a decent. It's like one of those 4 point Sheraton. Like
Okay.
it'll get the job done.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I'm traveling on the road, I don't really need like these Marriotts and stuff that we stay in, they're pretty nice. Like the room gets the job done, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not like using the amenities of the hotel, right? Now, when I travel with Nicole or we go on vacation, that's when it's like, okay, I want to stay somewhere really nice. But
Hmm.
half the time when we're in these rooms, you're in and out of them, like you're not really doing much, like so. But yeah, no, I just don't know. The other thing that sucks is I had a huge wager on Edmonton to win the game too. So it would have made it all the more exciting, celebrating and winning that game with, all those people going nuts around me. But
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like if that was me 5 to 10 years ago, I would have been at that game.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just as I'm getting older, I'm just like, I couldn't bother and then I like went down to the lobby to like get my DoorDash and I was talking to the lady at the front desk and she says, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm gonna watch the game." She goes, "Oh, it's gonna be a great game." I was like, "Yeah, I actually had a ticket to go." And she's like, "You didn't go?" And I was like, "No, I couldn't be bothered. I'm gonna be
I
Friday."
couldn't
And
be
I think
bothered.
but like here in Edmonton, there's nothing else to do, dude. It'd be like
I
living in Green
know.
Bay, and you got tickets to like the divisional rival game, like for the divisional playoffs game, and you're not going, or the NFC Championship game, and you're not
Mhm.
going. Like she couldn't register the fact that I had a ticket, and she's like, "Well, why didn't you sell the ticket?" I was like, "Well, I couldn't sell the ticket. It was the credentials were under my name. It wasn't like I could just go and scalp the ticket. Plus, I don't know how that would look on my, on
If
the
they
people who are
found
giving it to
out,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But I will say, it made me question it. I thought I'd start the podcast off asking because it's kind of interesting. Like if it's a Super Bowl, right? If it's a 1 day game, right? Like you're
Hmm.
not going another time. I think I'm more inclined to go than if it's like I don't know. It's a tough one because
Well, yeah,
some
if it
people
was
are
a
messaging.
football game and it was a one and done, there's no doubt I would have been there. Like
If it's a
if it
Super
was
Bowl, and
no, if it was a Packers divisional series too, I would have went.
I
I would have.
probably would
I
have
would.
went.
What
Yeah,
else am I doing in Green Bay? Like you said, what the fuck else am I gonna do? I might
I
as well
know.
go. Yeah, and football's just a different app. I don't know. I certainly I know I would have went if it was a football game. I don't blame you with the hockey game. I know there's going to be a lot of people getting on your ass about like how could you have a ticket and not go? You are ungrateful, but I understand it. I'm with you. I mean, I think I may have went, but I totally understand the other side. I can't be bothered to do most things in life.
Then the fact that I'm going on Friday is really what led me to be like, I'm
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need to, because like, I'm just like, what if I sit down in my seat? I'm just there watching the game by myself. Like, I have no one to converse with. I'm not gonna, like,
Hmm.
people are like, you should make friends with the people around you. I'm like, I'm at a point in my life where I have enough friends. And
I've
I don't have many. I don't
I,
have many.
I've made all the friends in life that I'm ever gonna make.
To
There
be quite
are
frank,
no more coming.
I don't know if I'm capable of making more friends at this stage of
No.
my life. I don't think
No.
you know how I am, Tick. I'm not for everybody. I might sit next to a couple people by myself and start talking to them, and they might be like, "Yo, this fucking clown needs to shut the hell up," you
Yeah,
know?
but also on the other end too, though, is you're very gregarious as far as like you can start a conversation with anybody. So you're actually one of
Sure.
the better people in life that I know who you can make a friend quickly. You're very quick to make friends because you just I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I'm watching you talk to strangers and I'm like, I have nothing to say to people. You can find a conversation out of anything. It's an impressive trait. It's also what made you a great GM of a restaurant.
Yeah, that I'm able to bullshit a lot. That's the gift of gab and the gift of
Yeah.
bullshitting is something that I got. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just was I was thinking about it like all last night, and I was like watching that game and the way it finished, and I was like, didn't have anything going last night. Might have been the night to go, and just really, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, speaking of the game,
You know who definitely, if you asked this question to, who definitely wouldn't have been at that
oh,
game?
Babo wouldn't have been at the game even for the one that he had to work with. He'd be like, oh, is there a way I could do it from my from I got a real good mirror in my foyer here of the hotel room. Any chance I could do the ad from there? Like he would try to not go to the game even if he was doing it for a job.
Oh, he'd be losing money going to the game, missing out on all those cameos. He's got to be in the hotel room doing the cameos.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I did last night. I was pumping out cameos
Oh,
because
there you
I
go.
did for Father's Day. It's a big month. Big month for
I'm
Cameo.
considering going on Cameo, by the way.
I think you would be great.
I might. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do it. Even if I
You
could
should.
make 60 extra bucks a month. I mean, that's 60 bucks I don't have currently. You know what I mean?
I think you could make several $100s a month.
Well, however
Which
much I make, I
you
just
know
don't
what you
want
should do?
to. Sure, what should I do?
You should do like do a test run, right?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, like the pricing is where it becomes like sometimes like here's the thing with the pricing is like sometimes I'm like if I put the pricing high and I only get a few, I still make a bunch. But if I go low, I get a ton of volume. So even though it's
Right,
low, it's like you could get death by a million pinpricks. So it adds up. I think
right.
it's better to go low and then especially when you're first coming in, and then you get a bunch. But say you do a cameo fund and you tell Allie, like, hey, you know what? Like, whatever I make per month from Cameo goes towards either dinner date nights out or like, we go to do something fun at the end of the month or like a game or something. Dude, you make
Yeah,
like several $100. You could go for like
that's true.
a couple really nice date night dinners that you're not going to have to worry about. I
That's
think you'd be
true.
great on it.
I mean, I would definitely give the people what they're paying for. I would definitely give it my all. I wouldn't phone it in. So, but also it's easier to do that when you don't have the volume that Bob's doing. Sometimes when I see how many Bob's doing, I'm like, God bless the guy. He's given 1,000 people a day 100%. I'm like, this guy. That's no wonder he sleeps so
Well,
well
you
at
can
night.
see,
He
you
must
can
be
see
exhausted.
it's kind of interesting on Cameo. You can go there, you can see what their average video time is. So, like, if
Uh-huh.
I look up at Bob, for example, I bet you his video time is like less than a minute. Let's just see here. Um, yeah, average video length. Guess how long it is.
Well, clearly it's under a minute. 45 seconds.
42 seconds.
42. Okay. So
All right.
where are you at? Where's the D man at?
Oh, I'm much longer than that. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me take a look. Um, I think I'm at here we go. Yeah, I'm 1 minute 44
Oh
seconds.
my God, Joe. That is, you just don't know how to end these things.
Well, I give it everything I got. And then half
Yeah.
the time while I'm halfway through the thing, like before I even get to the meat and potatoes of the thing, it's almost at 35 seconds, right?
Well,
Like it's almost impressive. You're doing $100 cameo in 40 seconds. I mean, that is you got to have a skill, a technique to do that. So, but I do feel like I think it should be less than 2 minutes. Mikey V was doing like 5 to 7 minute long cameos.
I mean, you're getting your bang for your buck then. I don't know how much Mikey's charging, but I
Well, he was
mean,
doing well in his defense, he was doing like the draft day ones where like he would do the NFL draft, so he'd pick like the draft order for somebody's fantasy football
oh,
league.
sure, sure.
But I mean, 7 minutes.
7 minutes. I mean, he's
Let's take
really
a look.
dragging it out.
Well, let's just take a look.
I
I
didn't even
think
know Mikey
it's
was on Cameo. I never see him promoted.
bear down, cuz here it is. All right, this is gonna be juicy. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Average video length 5 minutes and
That's a
11
ton.
seconds.
That's a ton,
Oh,
dude. That's a
that's one where
ton.
you're almost like by the end of it, you're just like, dude, just end the cameo, please. I'll pay you extra to end it. What do I got to do to get this cameo wrapped up?
That sounds like a guy trying to get a few minutes away from his wife and kids. That sounds like a guy who just needs a breather.
Yeah, so I think you should go on. Do you want to see Jets?
Sure. Oh,
I
Jet's got
don't
to be
know.
15 seconds. You got to be getting 10 seconds from this
Is
guy.
he on there as Jet or
Probably just comes on and
oh,
just
the
goes,
Jet, the Jet. Here it is. Oh, you can watch previous ones too.
give me one. Give me one of these.
Hold on, hold on.
Give me a Jet cameo.
Listen the fuck up. It's
Whoa.
time. It's the annual golf trip. Captain's picks, motherfuckers.
Can you hear him?
For team bombs, all right? Forget Randy, all right? Fuck Randy. Team bombs. Team bombs. It's about team bombs. Vote for team bombs. Okay?
This guy looks like he just got out of bed.
Till I fucking die.
He looks like the Unabomber.
Oh, he does.
What's
He's
his average time
58
though?
seconds.
Oh, that's
58
pretty good.
seconds.
Yeah, I would think around a minute is a good, you're getting what you paid for. Anything less than that, a little ridiculous. I got one by no one we know, but like a celebrity years ago. I won't name his name, but it was pathetic. This guy was charging like $100, and it was like someone bought it for me for it was like a happy birthday thing. And this guy came on for all of 15 seconds, and I was like, this guy's ripping people
Oh,
off. And you know what? I don't think he's on there anymore. I don't think he's on Cameo.
well, I did one for Mikey, and it was Jim McMahon, the ex-Bears quarterback, because I did a gift for him for Christmas, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice to
Did
do
he
like a
have did he have
funny,
the sunglasses on?
yeah.
Yeah, he only wears
And so
sunglasses.
he did the cameo. Mikey messaged me back in the group with Bob. He goes, Joe, Jim and I are dear friends. I have his number. I'm like, you know what, dude? This guy, dear friends. Meanwhile, he acts like he goes and sits down with them on Sunday evenings to have like fucking a Sunday night dinner together with this guy. I'm like, but I will say to his credit, it was a pretty good cameo. It was like 30 seconds. You just got to put some effort into it to make it look like you
Yeah.
care, you know? I
I
try to
did.
bust my balls to do really nice so that people are like, oh, this is, because you also get rated on your cameo. You
Right.
get like a rating.
Like an
So
Uber rating. Yeah. People, yeah, of course.
I
I didn't
cherish my
know
rating.
I didn't know that Mikey was dear friends with Jim McMahon.
Well, he's not.
Well, he told you he is.
He said he's a well, he's not a dear friend of his. I'm sure if you ask like Jim McMahon, who is Michael Bear Down Cuz, he would probably know who he is. But I don't think they're going out and playing fucking poker on Thursday nights.
Probably
You
not.
know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, of course.
We have
Uh,
ventured very far off what
sure.
we need to be talking
Well,
about,
we
which is
have we have
sports.
one more thing to get to before we get to sports because it's been a controversy and I wanna say something about it too, but I'll let you take the floor first. You took a lot of heat recently about you skimping out on that bet, man, cashing out early, and I want to give
Oh
you the
yeah.
floor to talk about it, and I'll tell you how what my feelings about it are. But you've been
Well,
catching a
no,
lot of
I went.
heat, so I just want to give you the floor to maybe defend
Well,
yourself.
do you want to give the backdrop for people who don't
Sure.
know what happened?
So there was an episode of Bob Does Sports where I was talking about what Joe had done to me the night prior, and then Joe released the clip the next day on Instagram or a couple days later. And basically, what had happened was Joe had two bets. He had a parlay bet going on. He had the Avalanche money line, and he also had the over in that game, whoever they were playing that
Lakers, was
night.
it?
No, no, it was the Avalanche again. It was
Oh,
still the same game, but it
oh,
was the
Avalanche
over.
Stars.
Correct. It was like over 6 or over 6.5. And you said, I like both these bets. It's just take one of them. Ride with me. Take one of them. And I was like, okay, I'll take the over. And then I took the over, and then the game hadn't started yet. So I went upstairs for like half an hour to work or something. I left, and then I came back down. The game had started, and I was like, all right, let's lock in for this bet. And you were like, oh, I cashed it out already. I
Well, it was
cashed
the
out.
second period. You missed the whole
You
first
had
period.
cashed out the bet without even shooting me a text like, hey, this isn't looking good. I'm going to cash out. I just came downstairs and I was fucked. I couldn't cash out at that point. I was absolutely banged.
Well, I see the thing is I had that in a multi-leg parlay. So it was the last leg. And I think the first period was a decent score, but you missed the whole period. So you came down in the second and it was starting to look like I was like a couple minutes into the second period, I was like, oh no, this looks like it's gonna go stagnant here. So they gave me a great option. Now, I will say this. I was absolutely in the wrong. I went hand up in the video, and I
Yeah.
even on top of that, I said I shouldn't have done that. And on top of that, I even posted the video to take ownership of it. So it's not like I'm hiding from this or
Mhm.
hiding from that. Then I got shelled in the video after from you and Bob just saying, this guy's the worst, which honestly I probably merited that. But I will take ownership. I did say that I was wrong to do it. Now, I'm not going to give a defense, but I will say you were nowhere to be found for the whole entire first period. So had you been like sitting there with me watching the game, like I think to give context, like I wouldn't have just cashed out with you there. You were gone. Like you were upstairs, you were out of the room, not even in the vicinity. I didn't know if you were going to come back down. So yes, I could have texted you and been like, "Hey, by the way, this thing's starting to look rogue. There's a good cash out option. I think we take and just call our losses." I could have definitely done that, and that would have been the play, but it
Hmm.
would have been a whole lot more of a scumbag move had you been sitting there watching the game with
Sure, and you
me.
just secretly
So
cashed out.
people don't necessarily know, because when you're saying that in the video, you're standing next to me. So people might have thought that you were just literally sitting next to me. I didn't say anything to you and cash out. That would have made me a real scumbag, you know? So
Sure.
I will say there's levels to this. And while I was in the wrong, I didn't even know if you were coming back.
No, I'll go hand up. You shouldn't put in a bet and then walk away from it. That's poor etiquette on my side. You did want me to ride the bet with you. You did want a rider with you, so I did that, and I walked away. Should have did that, but you can't
I
cash
agree.
out without
I
telling your
I
boy.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
But ideally, I will
Won't
say
happen
that
again.
to your point, like I think we both could have been better. Obviously I'm
Sure.
definitely in the wrong, but I do think like if you're gonna go in to ride a bet with someone, even if you had the notion that you were gonna go for like 15, 20 minutes, I would naturally say to my buddy who was riding the bet with, like, hey, I gotta run upstairs for 15 minutes to do something. I'll be back. Keep me
Hmm.
posted on how this bet's looking. Because I want I
Yeah.
want updates, right? I'm sick like that. The
Sure.
fact that you just got up and left, didn't say anything to me, and were gone for the whole period, I was like, oh, this guy's
Well,
toast.
yeah, but it's not like we sat down and cooked up a bet together. You were looking for someone to ride the bet,
I agree.
and I had
And
things to
again, that's
do.
why I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong, but I do think people who just watch that video, they came from my throat
I
because it
know.
looks like you're sitting there watching the game with me while I cashed out. And that is as scummy a move as you could possibly do to
I
not tell your
know.
boy.
I know. It's funny though how people watch these videos and they think like you and Jed hate each other or that me and Bob have a problem with you. And it's ridiculous. You're my dearest friend. I love you to
Yeah.
death. I
People
will
think I need to
forever.
leave Bob. People think that I'm a toxic poison to the Bob Just Sports group when I'm like, yo, we're like brothers. We
I
love each
know.
other. And when we have this banter, it's like it is like we go at each other's throats like you would with your younger or older brother.
Yeah.
But it's at the end of the day, it's like I would fucking go to war for you
It's
guys,
all
and I know
love.
vice versa. So, but let's get
Yeah.
back on the game last
Okay.
night. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. Now, this is going to be coming out tomorrow, so the game would have been a couple days ago. But I want you to walk me through who you like winning this series in the Stanley Cup Finals, and then also I would like you to kind of give me your breakdown on like what you thought throughout the game and your kind of overall like just your breakdown on this series.
I like well coming into this series I liked Florida. And I'm not going to say just because the Oilers won game one that I'm going to just flip flop on them, but I did like the tenacity that I saw, the fight that they had. They just played a good, consistent game all the way. They played a great 3 periods, and then overtime. Obviously, they won. The Panthers came out looking awesome. I thought they were flying around the ice. They looked excellent, and then they kind of slowed
Really?
down and rested on their laurels there, and then just had nothing the whole second half of the game. I didn't think they had almost
Well,
anything.
see, I actually disagree. I think outside of that 2, 3 minute window where they scored 2 goals, I thought that they got absolutely pumped in the first period. They were outshot 14 or 15 to 7, like up 15 shots to 7. I thought that Edmonton scored that early goal right out of the gates. They had the
Yeah.
momentum. They were shooting a ton of shots on Bobrovsky, and I thought like that one goal that ended up being goaltender interference, which they called for, which wasn't, that got the penalty. That goal stands, then they score on the power play, and all of a sudden it's 2-1. The switch was completely flipped. And then I thought Edmonton kind of went fucking quiet for a little bit. And then, Florida scores their third goal. Edmonton answers with the response. But
Hmm.
I actually, I as
Would
good as
you?
Bobrovsky plays, I was very impressed with Stuart Skinner last night.
I was
I
going to
thought
say,
he
what'd you think
played
about Bobrovsky?
well. Bobrovsky's one to me is, I mean, he's a Vezina winner. He's clearly one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the league. So you always know what you're going to get with him. Like, the couple goals that he let in, like that shot. That's one of the hardest shots to stop. And I know this is a goalie when it's like between the top of your pad and the bottom of your glove. It's just a very awkward place to try to stop the puck. So two of those goals, the second one by Arvidsson, which was a slap shot right there, which snuck by him, and then the goal by Draisaitl, which was also one-timer. He had no chance there. Those are very hard shots to stop. So I thought aside from, from that, I thought he played really, really well, which he always is going to. But to me, the story of the game was Stuart Skinner, I thought, played awesome. I
Yeah.
thought because there's a lot of question marks around this guy. He's going up against a goalie who people think are much better than him, which he is. But I thought he made some big time momentous game stops at the end, especially in the third period and overtime to really give Edmonton a chance to win that thing. I was very impressed.
So do you like the Oilers to win now up one game?
Yeah, I
Wow,
like the
wow.
Oilers. Well, no, it's easy to say now with them being up one, but I did like them before the series. I think they're playing with a ton of heart. Now, losing Hyman is a big loss because he is a huge a piece for them. And you know what made me think that they're going to win the cup is I don't know if you saw the highlight. It's pretty wild. There was a highlight that has been going around. They got the camera crew into the locker room of the Oilers after game 7, after the loss last year in the Stanley Cup Finals at Florida. And you can see, man, how just devastated these guys are. Like McDavid looks like he just lost his family. Like, dude, it's insane. Um, and then there's a clip of Hyman saying, we're coming back next year and we're going to win this thing. And I just think that they're playing. You got to see the clip, Tick. It's unbelievable. Like
Okay.
I watched that clip and I was like, damn, if they go back and it's a rematch of Florida and Edmonton, they're winning this cup. So I will say this, Florida is going to be a very tough team to beat. They play very well on the road. They have contributions from all three lines. They have the
Hmm.
arguably the best goalie in the league. They have good defense and Forsling. They have and Seth Jones playing great. They have players that can make plays all up and down the league, up and down the roster, and they won, right? So they have that in their back pocket that they won. They literally beat this team last year to win the Stanley Cup. So they got to be going into this with new pieces with Seth Jones, with Marchand. How good has he been,
I
man? He's
know.
been
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. Which, and they got to be thinking like, yo, we beat this team last year and we added pieces now. And I think whether you like him or not, Paul Maurice is a great coach. So
I,
I
th-
do like the Oilers, though.
Okay, I'm going to stick with Florida. I mean, if for all a lot of the reasons that you mentioned, the question marks around Skinner. I mean, when you look at just the firepower that these guys have, if the Oilers win, I think they end up winning in 7. But I think the Panthers still. I mean, Barkov, fucking Marchand, Kachuk. I
Sam
mean,
Bennett has been
Kachuk, Bennett. I
unbelievable.
know he was unbelievable.
Verhaeghe's been great. I mean, the
Yeah.
Kachuk is unbelievable. I mean, they got playmakers up and down. Reinhardt, I mean, they got playmakers like crazy, dude. They're so good.
And then, like you said, just Bobrovsky's probably the best in the league, one if not one of them. I think the Panthers are going to respond in a big way. But you're right. Sometimes there's just this history and this momentum behind you, like talking about the McDavid clip and all that. Sometimes these guys make a promise to themselves and it comes to fruition. Sometimes just more heart ends up winning. And I'm not saying Florida doesn't have heart, but certainly the Oilers have a big narrative of coming back and wanting to win this thing after what happened last year. So it's possible. I'm still betting on Florida. I'm interested. What do you think the line is right now
For the series?
for the series?
Oh, well, after Edmonton won game 1, they're definitely favored. Probably like minus 170 to win.
Okay.
You should take a look on DraftKings. I don't know what it currently sits at.
Do you guys
You
have
take a look.
DraftKings up there?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Oilers minus 210, Panthers plus
Okay,
180.
so it's even more. Yeah, I was gonna say minus 170, minus 180, but it's even more. So it just depends. If Florida comes back and wins game 2, then they come back out of this with all the momentum. So
Hmm.
it's just like game by game, it's just a wave of momentum and it carries over. And it's why the Stanley Cup Finals to me are the best. It's the best in the playoffs. I don't
Yeah.
think it gets better. I will say, as a guy who's not a big baseball guy, that the MLB playoffs are also electric.
Oh
Like every
yeah.
pitch, every matchup means so much. But yeah, dude, it's going to be a great series. It's going to be awesome.
I agree, and you'll be there at game two.
I will be there.
What do they have you doing? Are we going to see you on the big screen? Are we going to see you on TV, or what do they have you doing over there?
I don't know. We're toggling with a couple different things. We're considering doing a thing where George LaRock and I are golfing today, and we're going to do maybe a thing where the loser gets pied in the face
Hmm.
at the game, which could kind of be funny. So I don't know. We got a couple things that we're going out there. I don't know if George LaRock wants Joey Colcutt's pieing him in the face. I might get a big old right hook if I try to do that, you know? This guy might fucking just end me. I might be coming back in a casket, Bob.
But
He might not even.
that'd be some of the best content of all time, though. It'd be better than the garage door. This would be the biggest viral clip you've ever
Did you
seen.
speak of the garage door? Did you see the DraftKings shirt that they put out?
Yeah, I did.
The not so ideal parlay. Yo, dude,
Wait,
look at the
also,
look at that shirt.
I
The
know.
not ideal parlay. It's a DraftKings shirt of me just smashing my head in a garage door while I'm dropping a sandwich.
Well, there's also there's one of FP, there's two of you. I didn't see Bob.
No,
Does
there's one
Bob
of
have
Bob.
one?
There's one of Bob, but I think the lighting came out bad because
Oh,
his
okay.
beard is like 3 times too dark. The Perez one is actually really good. I think I
Pretty
have it
cool. The
here. Hold
three
on.
leg parlay.
The 3 leg parlay, it's just
Yeah.
a picture of him doing each step on the way to doing a Euro. It's pretty sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think I have it here.
You got it?
Well, that's the Bob one. Hold on, let me.
My parlay.
That's a Bob one, but Bob's beard looks like it's mine. That's supposed to be Bob.
He looks more like Manolo.
Yeah, he does. Whatever happened to that guy, eh? Oh my God. Okay, here's the 3 leg parlay with Perez.
Yeah. That
First
one
leg,
that
second
one's
leg,
sick.
third. I would wear
I
that.
would wear that shirt.
It's a great shirt.
I
I would
would
wear it.
I might have
I
to hit
will wear
somebody
it.
up. Yeah. Did you get them? Did you get all three of them?
Yeah,
Oh,
they sent me
nice.
all three.
God
Yeah.
forbid, they send two extra boxes to Chet and I. But all right. Anyway, let's move on to the NBA playoffs. Obviously, the Pacers finished off the Knicks. I think most of us saw that coming.
I thought the
Except for
Knicks were
your,
gonna win.
did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think on
really?
the last one that I think well, we missed last
Well,
week's
no, I'm sorry,
podcast.
not before the series, but as it was I mean, after the first three games, I
Oh,
think we were
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean off the bat, but yeah, I think everyone saw the writing on the wall pretty quickly into that series. Besides Knicks fans, I mean, every game was just like Knicks in five, and then they'd lose one. They'd be like Knicks in six, and then they'd lose another one. They'd be like Knicks in seven, and it was like they don't make 8 games. You can't go to eight. And
That was the
so
Yankees did that last year too. They were down
correct.
3-0 to the Dodgers, and they're like, Yankees at 7. It's
I
like
know. You guys got to start letting go. I mean,
there's a
but
thing called reality, and it's good to live in it.
God
You
bless
know?
them. They go to the bitter end, with hope in their pocket, and then they have to watch it all disappear. But I mean, they're till the very last pitch. These guys. But anyway, the Pacers took out the Knicks. They're playing the Thunder. Game one is today. Game one's today. It will have been yesterday when this comes out. OKC's favored 9.5 points. I mean, how do you see game one going in Oklahoma City, and how do you see the series going, Joey D?
I mean, it's just hard to envision a world where the Thunder don't close these guys out in
Sure.
5 games. I can't even see this going 6. They're just so good. Up and down the court. Now you want to root for the underdog, right? But like I feel like Oklahoma was the best team in the NBA throughout the year.
Hmm.
Um, they've gone through, tough series. Denver was the one team that I did think that could maybe take them out just because of how good Jokic is and how spread out their scoring is and how they could like really get to them down low with Jokic. And also just being past previous champions. And they couldn't do it. So I don't see a world tick where I think maybe the Pacers squeak one out. They might win one at home or one on the road early, but I just think pound for pound, I think this team is much better. And I
Hmm.
think that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a while. And you know what? Good for Oklahoma, man. They have gone through it, dude. Remember, they didn't win a championship when they had Durant, they had
Harden.
Westbrook, and they had Harden.
Yeah.
And then they had to go through a lot of years in between where, they've been solid teams. They've been good. They just did not have like the core pieces to win. And I mean, Shea is arguably one of the top best players in the NBA, might be the MVP of the year of
Yeah.
the league this year if Jokic doesn't get it. But um, he's so good. They got complementary scoring. You even look at a guy like friend of the pod, Alex Caruso, what he does for that team
Yeah.
and the dimensions he brings between being able to facilitate, bring the ball up the floor, assists. He plays lockdown defense. And that's just one guy, and they got guys up and down the court like that. So if you're asking me, I think that the Thunder take this thing in five.
In five.
Yeah.
Wow. It seems to be the general consensus, though. I mean, Indiana played so well. I mean, I think they were pretty unexpected to come out of the East. For whatever reason, Bob and his dad had a bet that they would. I don't, they had to be the only two people on the planet that made that bet, but they did. Good for them. They won it. So to see the
Well,
pay,
no, I'll give you one further. You know who has a bet for them to win the entire league? A one Scotty Blumstein has
okay.
multiple tickets to the Pacers winning the NBA Finals.
Now, when did
So,
he put that? Did he put that in before the playoffs?
oh, way before.
Oh,
He
wow. Good
said,
for him. I mean, he's close. He's close. I mean,
I,
he's got to consider the cash out option. He really has to consider that cash out option.
yeah, dude. He put two. So I've seen it here. I'm not going to show his bets on here, but he said it to me.
Sure.
He put two wagers, finals winner, Pacers plus 16,000 at $100 at
Holy
$100 a pop.
shit. Wow. Okay. How much did he win
So,
on them being the Eastern Conference?
that's just, I don't even know if he did the conference. That's just to win the
Oh,
whole thing.
you got to think that cash out
So
is
a
at
hundred
least
bucks, he
eight
has,
grand.
so he's $100 to win 16 grand. So he's got two ticks. So $200 to win $32,000.
Yeah.
I am at that point. I'm putting 10, 12 grand on the Thunder.
Oh yeah, you're in a complete wager situation, of course. Yeah, I would agree. But
You
good
got
for
to make
him,
sure you
man. Look at that.
He always sees the field well, this guy, dude. He's always, I mean, he's a World Series of Poker winner, dude. The guy is just,
I mean, why have him start shooting over some bets during the week? I mean, this
I'm
is
gonna tell him that we mentioned him on the Sportsman. I'm gonna put us in a group chat because this guy, when he gets hot, I've never seen someone get hotter. It's unbelievable.
I've
He is,
I've never met him. I've heard you guys
you
talk about
never
him.
met Scotty Blumstein?
No, never met him.
Oh, he's a great guy, man. So I think he came on like ages ago, like in the very OG years of the Brilliant Dumb Show. He came, I think Bob interviewed him. And he
Okay.
was like a fan of like what we were doing. And then we went to Vegas a few times and I met him. And he was a friend of Bob's growing up. They played at the Jewish YMCA basketball league, like the communal league. And maybe it wasn't Jewish. I think it was just a YMCA, whatever. It was like a communal basketball league. They
Hmm.
became friends, and this guy went on. He was from New Jersey. He was living with his parents. Went on. He qualified
Wow.
for a satellite to the World Series of Poker, and I think it was like 2017 or something like that. He won it. He won the
Wow.
first prize. He has the bracelet and everything.
I used to watch those with my dad. Like when I was growing up,
Oh, they were
I
awesome.
loved the World Series of Poker.
Who's your guy?
Who was the guy who always wore the sunglasses with the eyes on them?
Oh, Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah, Moneymaker.
They had
Yeah.
the dinosaur glasses. There was
Who was the little
Doyle
shitty
Doyle Brunson was like the Godfather.
and
There was
Negrin or Nalgren?
Negrano, no, Daniel
Negrano.
Negrano.
Daniel
He was the
Negrano.
Canadian. And then you had Phil Hellmuth was like the
Yeah.
worm who always like talks shit to
Who
people.
was the guy
And
who
then
looked like Jesus? He had the
oh
really long hair.
Ferguson. Ferguson.
Ferguson. Yeah, I loved him too, man.
I used to watch it all the time, dude. Phil
Yeah.
Hellmuth. There was the Asian guy, Chan.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
what the hell was his name? Oh my God, it's gonna drive me
Oh,
nuts. He was
Kevin Wynn, or I used to call him Nguyen, but I think it's called his name's pronounced Wynn. He was one of them, and then Jamie Gold won it one year.
Oh yeah, so Scotty to win,
Is Scotty to
and then
win?
and then Johnny Chan was like the other guy who he
Johnny
was
Chan.
like I think he's won like two or three times the main event. I used to love
Hmm.
watching it, dude.
Me too.
I went through a
I
phase
had the
where I
video
played
game
poker
too.
like crazy.
I would create my own character, or you could be one of the guys and you'd be playing against like Phil Hellmuth. Oh, it was awesome. I loved the video
I
game.
loved a good poker night with the boys back in the day, man. That was fun.
Sure, sure. I never really participated. I mean, now if there's like a bachelor party or something, we'll play. But like, I never had like a weekly game or something. I'd love to do that. I'd love to get
We
a weekly
should.
game.
We should.
Well,
You know who I'd love to play with is Showtime, dude. I think he'd be hysterical to like watch try to bluff. He'd have like
sure.
his Onyx ring and he'd just dump his chips in the middle, like some obnoxious all-in move, you
He'd
know?
be one of the guys like who just like wear headphones and they're listening to music and they're not even paying attention. Yeah. So I didn't
Chet
know
would
that
just
though.
be like,
Blumstein was way
what?
after my time. I didn't know that this guy that you had been talking about was a World Series of Poker winner.
Yeah,
Incredible.
dude, it's insane. So I actually one year I was in Vegas while the World Series of Poker was on. This was like couple years ago. I was with Nicole
Uh-huh.
and we went in. We went in because we were at Caesars and he was playing. And we went in to watch it. And dude, it's just like a warehouse. There's like hundreds and hundreds of tables. And all you hear is just chips. Like, you know, the sound of people
Yeah.
like playing with chips. And it's like it was like insane. And then they had the posters up on the wall and Scotty Blumstein, man, he was up there. It was crazy. He's such a great guy too.
All right. There you have it. Yeah, still, throw us in the group chat. Just,
I will. I
yeah,
will.
that'd be great.
Here
But
it is.
getting,
Oh, look at this. One second. I'll just show you this. This was in Caesars. This was in 2023. Look at the amount
yeah,
of people
I
playing,
know.
dude.
I know. Because it's
Oh,
only
there it
like
is. There's Scotty right there. It was
Because
crazy. I
do you have to qualify? I know it's a 10,000, what is it, 10 or $15,000 buy-in, which is not nothing, but it's also not a crazy amount of money. It's like, do you have to qualify, or Joe, could you go next year and just buy in for 15? Maybe it's 15 grand?
I think it's 15 now. You
Yeah.
imagine we just did it just to do a series on like to see how far we could go.
Joe, if you did that, that would be amazing. I mean, it'd be hard to get content because I don't think they like you filming, but we'd see you on TV. There's a guy at Barstool that did that too, who went
Mincy,
on.
I think.
Was it Mincy? Yeah, Mincy was
I think
a
so.
he
He's a big
wanted.
poker guy.
Yeah, that'd be great though. You should do. When is it? You should do it this year.
Could you imagine?
You should
You
do
imagine
it.
me like you imagine I made it
Oh.
to like the final like couple tables and I'm just there fucking freaking out, losing my mind over bad beats.
Oh, dude, the content would be so good. Oh my God. You gotta talk about this on the Brilliant Dumb Show. You gotta get the wheels churning on this thing. Ask Blumstein. He'll get you in.
Well, I'm just not Blumstein doesn't run the tournament. I still have to put up the money.
Well, right, but I mean, I'm sure he could get you on a featured table, maybe get you, in front of the TV. That'd be great. I'd love to
I
see you
used
do
to
that.
have the biggest
Huh.
roller coaster
Huh.
emotional wins, and then when I lost on a bad beat, I would just lose it, man, on the table. I'd be like, "That's unbelievable!" Like you have pocket aces against kings, and a king comes up. I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Some people like lose graciously and just quietly walk away.
But
Oh,
could
I was
you
never that guy.
imagine you make a run on that thing?
It'd be fun.
Oh my word.
It'd be fun.
I think it's a serious, I'm not even joking around. I think you should seriously consider this.
Yeah,
You're a good gambler. I think I mean,
maybe,
there might be some people out there who don't want you to do it, but I think you should do it. I think, yeah,
maybe.
I think you should do it. Getting back to the Pacers and Knicks, though, I mean, the Pacers, it's just over, they played so much better than most people expected. Siakam, that guy's incredible. Halliburton has had quite a run with this thing, but I agree with everything that you said. I think Oklahoma City's just got too much power going on. And I think it's the beginning of a long run for these guys. I think they're going to be around for a
Yeah,
while as long as they can keep them together because they're all young. I think you said a few weeks ago. I mean, at SGA outside of Caruso, he's like the youngest or the oldest guy on the team. He's like 26. It feels
yeah,
like
it's
he got
crazy.
drafted a few years ago. So I agree. Maybe not five, but I would go six
The
games.
Pacers have to, because of the inexperience of the Thunder, because they're still a young team. If they
Hmm.
had any chance or any hope, they would have to go steal a game early in Oklahoma to kind of just get these guys thinking like, hey, you know what? There's a potential where we can win this thing. Like I
Yeah.
think if they don't do that, if Oklahoma beats them down game one, game two, I just don't see a world where, I don't see a world where they have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. But we'll find out. Game one tonight. Let's move on to one more topic before we go to who's a problem. Quickly, tell me about UFC 316. It's coming up. It's O'Malley. It's
Bob's going.
yeah, he is going. That's
He
right.
messaged me today. He wanted me to go, but I'm here in Edmonton,
Th th
seeing the sights.
this guy, by the way, is starting to go to more UFC events than Dana White. This guy is the UFC now. I mean,
I will
he
say we need to get Pop out at one of these things because
yeah.
they're electric, dude. They're so much fun. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome card. The main event, I am rooting hard for O'Malley, but I don't see a world, dude, where he beats Marab, dude. Marab is built like he's built like a machine. The guy doesn't get tired. Like if you watch did you watch the first fight that they had?
Yeah, yeah.
He just like
He's
outwore him. He just like
I
wore him
know.
out. And he just like ran around and just like kind of like put him in, like he would grapple him, then he'd get him on the ground, then he'd hold him. And like he just kind of wore him out to where, I think Sean O'Malley's like Sugar Sean's strength is in his like striking, and he had nothing left at the end of that
Yeah.
match. He was gassed. This guy is just he's built just different. Like even this last match I watched, he faced Khabib's cousin, who was a hell of a fighter. I don't think he had lost a fight, or maybe he had lost one. And he just again, he doesn't stop. Like even if he gets beat down a little bit, the first round, he comes back harder each single round after, to the point where it's just like he's like that Energizer bunny, dude. He just keeps going.
Yeah.
So I am rooting for O'Malley. I would love to see him win, but I got to tell you, dude, I don't know. I don't see a world where he's going to beat this guy.
This one's in Vegas, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's in New Jersey.
Oh, it is. Oh, that's right, because Bob was heading right back. We were just there.
He's
Bob's heading
going. He's
right
going with
back.
Mikey. He's going to go with Mikey. He's going
Oh,
with his pops.
yeah.
Told me he has to leave tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. because his dad wants to make the weigh-ins for the night
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. And
So,
uh and he's got a round coming up with Mikey V. They're gonna play some
and Teddy's
golf.
going. Teddy's going too
Yeah.
you got Teddy going. Yeah, apparently Bob and Mikey are playing Justin Gaethje and Daniel Cormier in a 2v2 scramble
I
match, I
can't
guess.
wait to see the content that Bob gets of this guy.
Oh,
Oh, it's
Mikey.
going to be a must-watch story. Bob's story, I think it's tomorrow they're going to be playing, Friday, when this comes out, is going to be the day. Go take a look at Burnley Dumb's story. It's going to be electric. That's going to be must-watch TV.
Well, they might actually play Saturday morning, I
Oh, is
think.
it
I think they're
Saturday?
Saturday morning. They're playing the morning before the fight, I think. So it's going to be,
Dude, Mikey over a club, he needs longer clubs, I think.
oh my
His
gosh,
back is at
yes.
like a 90-degree angle just to get down to the club and stay
I
down
told him,
on
I'm
the
like,
golf
Mikey.
ball.
And people are like, oh, these guys, I can't believe they ever got him a set of clubs. It's like, we have gotten him, like, Bob's got him putter, driver, but like, I think, like, we don't just get access to free clubs for everyone in our family and friends and stuff.
I
That's not
know.
how it works, right? People are like, the fact this guy's got to buy his own clubs. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm sorry. Like, we got, like, but he does. He needs to go get fitted
He
properly
he
and get
needs
like
to go to like the
extensions.
golf big and tall store. Like he needs specialty gloves, man. My back's hurting just watching him when you guys played in Wisconsin together. He hit a great shot on the one that you posted or put on your story, but like I still was like his back looks like it's and he already has back problem. I mean, we all do. Once you get over 30, you have if you're a man, you have back problems.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy Callaway needs to open up a special big and tall store for this guy. I love the guy, but he does. He needs him. All right, let's move on here to who's a problem, and then we'll do viewer questions. Joey D, do you got a problem this week?
You go first. I don't really know. Give
Okay.
me a second. I have to think about
I
what I
got
want to
I
throw
got
out
a
there.
problem, and this happened
Okay.
last night. I ordered I don't need to tell you how much, but I ordered a sizable amount of ice cream from Postmates last night. Now, you could say I'm part of the problem because it's a big risk ordering ice cream off of Postmates in the middle of summer. It's June, right? Like it's going to take a hit. But this guy delivered the ice cream in a bag. It was a nice bag. He put it at the door and he didn't knock. I didn't get a notification on my app. Nothing. The ice cream had been sitting out there for half an hour in 80-degree weather. I walk out there, I open the door, it's soup. The bag is soup. Van Leeuwen, it's a great brand, it's a great brand of ice cream. It was Van Leeuwen soup all over the
Well,
place
see,
because
that's
this
when you
guy
go back to your app and you put in a review that the item was not satisfactory. Are you DoorDash or are you Postmates?
that one I did Postmates. Yeah, I Postmated
So
this ice cream and I was sitting right next to my front door. My couch is directly next to my front door. Not a knock. I have one of those door knockers too. He didn't even have to hurt his little knuckles. He could have just hit the little thing and
yeah,
and
that's
just
wild.
let me know
Did you
that
dispute
my
it?
ice cream was outside. What did I do what?
Did you
I didn't
dispute it?
No, I didn't dispute it. I didn't dispute it. I mean, I guess I still
Oh,
have
come
time. This was
on.
last night.
I would put in a review. So again, I use DoorDash. So Postmates, I think you do the same thing. If something like that happens, you go back to the order. You can see
Uh-huh.
previous orders, and then there's a review thing, and you give it like you go like you press help. You put problem with my order, and they give you like a list of different things. So like item didn't arrive, there was a problem. I would go with problem with my item, and then you would click under ice cream was completely melted when I got it. And what they will do is, especially for someone like you and I who are loyal,
Yeah.
customers putting line in their pockets
Oh
every month,
yeah.
they will just either offer you a full refund where it just goes back to your card on file, or they will give you like DoorDash or Postmates credits. So
Hmm.
if the item was worth $20, they'll give you $20 in your Postmates app so that the next order you make, it'll remove the $20 off of it before you have to pay another dime.
Oh, that ice cream was worth a whole lot more than
All
$20.
right. Well, I'm just saying, all the more reason for you to go ahead and do that and like put in the thing.
Pop got a whole lot of ice cream.
What flavor?
I've been super into like any kind of birthday cake ice cream. It was like a ooey gooey butter cake ice cream, and when they put the little pieces of cake in there, oh, I lose my mind. It's my by far like if you ever go to Cold Stone Creamery, which is when we actually 2 nights ago we had that. It's they have this ice cream called cake batter. It to me, it's the best ice cream that I've ever had in my entire life. The Cold Stone Creamery cake batter ice cream, you throw some fudge brownie in there, some chocolate
Hey,
chips, forget
give them
about
a
it, dude.
plug, Pop. Maybe they come
Oh,
back and give you a little sponsorship.
Cold Stone Creamery. I'm your guy,
The
okay?
Sportsman is brought to you by Cold Stone
Oh,
Creamery,
Cold Stone.
doing more than just delivering ice cream.
Hey, Cold Stone, let's be more than friends.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good line.
All right, you got a problem this week or
I'll double down on the whole Postmates DoorDash stuff. I
okay.
ordered food last night. Um, I ordered I should try, I'll probably hold on. I gotta show you what I did
Yeah,
because it's
show me.
hysterical. So I ordered place that's really good in Canada here. It's called Cactus Club. Place is awesome. I ordered, they have a great burger. I did a burger. And by the way, people are saying I've been looking fatter than all hell. So I did, instead of fries, I did a side salad with my burger.
Okay.
Like a nice healthy like champagne vinaigrette, like really good. My problem is with the DoorDash or Postmates, if you don't select on the order, deliver with utensils,
Oh
they
yeah.
don't give you utensils. It
Hmm.
should be a guarantee, no arguing the fact you order, they're putting something in, they throw in, they have those to go contain like the to go cutlery with the little napkin in it. You just
Hmm.
toss one in the bag and you keep it moving. So I have a salad there with feta cheese and like, little green goddess dressing and stuff. And I had no utensils. So you know what I did? I'm staying in the hotel right now. We have a coffee station and we had stir sticks. I was using these things as this one broke clearly because this one is like half the size. I was
Uh-huh.
using these things as chopsticks to maneuver my way through that salad, bro. I looked like an idiot. It took me half an hour to eat a small little side salad, bro. I was at the point where I was like, I'm not gonna grab this with my hands and put it in my mouth, but I'm close.
The worst is when you do get sushi and they don't give you the chopsticks. I had to we own our own set of chopsticks now just in case because I don't know if you've noticed, but sushi does not taste the same if you don't eat it with chopsticks. It's just not as satisfactory. It
I
loses
just
something with it.
if you're ordering anything to go,
Uh-huh.
if it's a sushi, you should have chopsticks. If it's anything else, you should have to go cutlery. It should be a guarantee. I should not have to go on the app because I forget every time. And there's a little button where you just click
Yeah,
it and it
add
says,
utensils. Yeah, I
and then
know.
it's not even like they will ask you how many you need. So, like, if
Hmm.
I'm ordering like 5 different meals, you think they just throw in like a handful. They will throw you one. There's been a time
Hmm.
Nicole and I put add utensils, but because I didn't do two, they just threw one thing of utensils. And we're in the fucking hotel. And I have to call room service to deliver up cutlery.
The other one that's really a backbreaker when you don't get it is if you order like pho or ramen or something and
Oh,
they
the
don't give you
spoon.
that little spoon.
Oh, the big spoon, the deep spoon.
Correct, that like ramen spoon that you oh, if you don't get that,
I
you're
need that ramen
fucked.
spoon. Oh yeah,
Me too. I need
I need
that
that
ramen
ramen
spoon.
spoon.
All right. Let's move on here to viewer questions and then we'll get out of here.
Couple of quick ones, and then we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. First question, I'll let you answer this one, Joe. It says Mason Whitlock. How did Jet get his name?
So I think initially the backdrop story of it was when Jet and Bob started working together. Bob actually had a different nickname for the Jet. It was the Kid. And I don't think Jet really liked that. But what happened is Bob used to ask him before they worked together, he would ask him for like to put together a compile or like edit clips. Like he'd be like, hey, I did this on the Brilliant Dumb Show or something. Can you get a clip of this? And the reason he called him the Jet is because he would get the clip back to him so fast that he said it was almost like the guy was on a jet delivering me this clip. So that's how he became known, not as a kid, but as a Jet.
That's right. All right, we'll do one more here from Ben Sheridan.
We do
Which is
two more quick
two
ones.
more? Okay, two more. This one's from Ben Sheridan. Which is worst, tear an ACL celebrating a championship or fall on your way to the stage for the draft?
Tear an ACL before the
No,
championship
no, no,
or
no, celebrating a championship. You won, and you're just like jumping
okay.
up, I guess, and then you tear an ACL.
Or what's the other one?
I guess you fall on your way to the stage for the draft, like you trip.
Oh, falling for the draft is way worse. Listen, at that point, when you're a champion, when you've won the trophy, you're in a state of euphoria. You know, like
Hmm.
you're just over the moon. Even if you tear your ACL, you got a whole off season to recover. You know, you're gonna do so as a champion. When you walk up the stage for a draft, and that's the first impression you have to the sports world as the guy who fell on his face going up to be selected at the draft. That's a scene that I would not want to be a part of.
Yeah, it's definitely more embarrassing. At least with the other one, you won a championship. However, you tore your ACL. The other one, you just tripped. This one, you tore your ACL. That's a more devastating injury. You can
But you've
bounce
also
back
gone
from.
probably through a grueling series to win that championship. So you could just say, the thing was hanging by a thread. As I went to
Yeah.
hoist the trophy, there was nothing left.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably go with the falling on the way to the stage for the draft too. All right, last one is Kyle Schaefer wants to know, name a player in the NFL you swore was going to be great but never panned out. I got a
Johnny
few
Manziel.
of these guys. Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
I mean, friend of
Um,
the program, we love him dearly, and the guy
sure.
had all the potential in the world. I think it was more so that there was just like, there was a guy who was with the Bears, a receiver. What was his name? He was fucking good, dude. He got drafted and he never amounted to anything. Um, Give me yours.
The guy a few years ago,
It was like, yeah,
5 years ago.
several, 5, 6 years
Yeah, I
ago.
know. I think I know who you're talking about. He went somewhere else and was decent, but he's not great. I'll give you Justin Fields. I really thought there was a point where I thought the Eagles should trade up and get Justin Fields. I liked him so much. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he's not a bust, but
No, he's far from a
I thought this
bust.
guy was going to be a fucking, the next Peyton Manning, and he's certainly to this point not that. Um, let's see. I thought Jeremy Maclin, the receiver from Mizzou, was going to be
Oh
amazing.
yeah, he
He was
was.
good. He had a couple years, but he just kept getting hurt. He wasn't it. I thought he was going to be a Hall of Fame kind of guy. Um, let's
I
see.
gotta find this guy, man.
No Sean Moreno had some good years, but I thought this guy was going to be a Hall of Famer. Didn't turn out.
It's
Um,
tough, man. It's tough to make it.
I mean, he
It's
was a
tough.
very good player, No Sean Moreno, for a while, but he just I thought this guy was going to be like go down as one of the greats. Let's see. Ryan Leaf.
Oh, Ryan Leaf is the most classic one of all time, dude. Guy just didn't
Jamarcus
have it.
Russell. Um, who's the
There's a
receiver that you're
lot.
thinking of? I know exactly.
I can't
I'm
find
thinking of a
him.
very similar guy. He's a Bears
He's a
receiver.
tall, lanky guy. He had like dreadlocks.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, another one, a guy who again wasn't a bust, but when he was coming out, I was kind of fooled into thinking that he was going to be a great quarterback. Was Derek Carr? I thought he was going to like change the Raiders organization. I thought this
Yeah,
guy
but
was going
Derek
to.
Carr, I would say, had a
No, he
successful.
was. He had a successful career. He definitely did well, but like I think we all found him to be a little underwhelming compared to what he was supposed to be. And
Kevin White.
oh, Kevin White from WVU,
That's why you
West
knew him.
Virginia.
Kevin White from West Virginia.
Yes.
Yo, this guy had the makings.
Yeah.
They already had Alshon Jeffrey. And I saw a couple like highlight reels. I remember
Hmm.
watching him and I was like, and as a Packers fan, I always want the Bears not to do well. And I was like, yo, with this guy, I think they had Cutler as their quarterback back then. I was like, this guy could be a real problem. And he stunk forever. You know who another one is? And he actually has had a pretty successful career now. He's really revamped himself the last several years, but he was supposed to be so good for years, and he just was like a gimmicky player. Was Cordarrelle Patterson was a
Yeah.
guy who he
Yeah.
was supposed to be the receiver, and instead they were using him in running back packages. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, he was drafted by the Vikings, right? Or did he end up on the Vikings?
He was drafted by the Vikings. Yeah.
Okay. Another guy I thought, and this guy kind of was a bust. He had one good year. Was Javid Best, a running back from Cal,
Detroit.
and then he
Detroit.
played with Detroit, and he had one like pretty damn good season. This guy was fast as lightning, and I was like, this, watch out for this guy. And I think he was injury prone. I think that was his issue too. But I was like, the Lions are turning it around. They got Javid Best. They're going to be unbelievable, and he went absolutely fucking nowhere. Yeah, there's a lot of guys. I'm more wrong about guys than I am right. I'm rarely right, if ever. I mean, it's just it's hard. I mean, I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be a sure thing, and again, not a bust, but like far from great,
Yeah.
far from great.
It's hard to make it and be successful in the NFL.
Yeah,
Really,
especially as a
really hard.
quarterback. All right, Joey D, fun episode, and we will see everybody next week, hopefully.
Hopefully.